part of this investigation, I have heard of incidents, and it's possible that you or someone you know might have heard of an incident or might have been a victim. So CVM investigates whether there's any truth to the claim by numerous Jamaicans over many years of being the victim of an attack in which they're rendered unconscious by the use of a liquid or powder by their assailants. Patrice and her family were earlier this year the victims of a robbery that seemed well planned. The robbers seemed to have been observing the family for a while, knowing what time the last person would arrive home, and that's the time he launched his attack. The robber apparently climbed on a ladder and used a stick to fish out the house keys, which were in an accessible location, but not before he had allegedly sprayed a substance to dull the senses of the occupants.
Apparently he sprayed something in because my brother said he wasn't asleep, he was watching the TV, but he was dozing off, but he remembers a smell, a funny smell, and then he didn't remember anything after that. So the guy fished out the keys, let himself in the front door, went directly into his room.
And that's where the robber got most of his loot, a laptop, money and cellular phones. She estimates that the robber was in the house for about half an hour as she was awoken by neighbors who found her front door opened.
I woke up everybody. I had to wake up my brother, and he was totally unaware of what had happened. And then I told him to look around to see if anything was missing. That's when we realized the things were missing. And then he was telling me that he really noticed that he had smelled something, and he really didn't know that anything was going on. He didn't know someone was in his room. He didn't know someone was over him. And it was as if he was fast asleep until I woke him up. And then we called the police, who came quite quickly, and they were telling us that apparently there's someone going around spraying this thing, putting people to sleep, and he fishes out the keys, and that's his tactic of getting inside.
It was a similar situation for Sandy's family. They were awoken by neighbors.
The first thing I noticed was that the window over the bed was open, which we sleep with open at night. The mesh was slash. So I was like, that was a slash before. So that's when I realized that they didn't break in this house without us knowing that they break in. We slept right through it, didn't hear anything, so I have to assume that probably is that the powder the place, so we sleep right through it.
There was no unusual smell, but something else led her to believe a harmful substance was used.
Actually, I had this burning around my eyes, though, which was funny because I was wondering why my face burning me so much when I wake up. And the funniest thing about it that we don't normally sleep right through the night, because my son's father normally at certain hours of the morning he would just watch TV because he can't sleep, but we slept right through.
The burglar in this case had the urge for food, raiding the refrigerator as well as removing items of jewelry. But some victims are not so fortunate to escape bodily harm. Lily woke up in a pool of blood. The intruder bashed her head in, and despite her wearing a wig, she required 13 stitches. But was she also sexually assaulted?
She said when she went to sleep she had on her underwear, but when she felt the blood to her face and went to the bathroom, the underwear was already in the bathroom. It was cut off, so she put on another one to come outside to get help.
In her case, the loot was a DVD player, 2 cell phones and jewelry. A powdery substance was found in the house.
Everybody was asleep. Nobody wake up. Even the other person wake up in the house, like he was unconscious. He don't know what's going on.
So what exactly is this substance that's used by some burglars that's sending off the alarm bells throughout many communities? As our investigation continues, we seek the views of medical and security experts and tell you how you could be affected.